Welcome back to this week's episode of Fish Smart. I'm Kian, the Sustainable Seafood Coordinator for the Minnesota Zoo, and today we're back in the kitchen talking Arctic char. Now, Arctic char is a really great fish for a lot of reasons. First of all, it's got a lot of the same characteristics as salmon, so you can use it in virtually all of the same ways. Arctic char is also one of the few fish that lends itself really well to aquaculture, making it a very sustainable choice. Now, I just recently got back from the Chefs Collaborative Sustainable Food Summit in Charleston, South Carolina. And the dish that I'm going to make you today is reminiscent of some of the things that I saw while I was down there. We're going to make a Farrosotto with butternut squash and apple with a pan-roasted Arctic char.
To start today's recipe, bring half to 3/4 a quart of chicken stock to a simmer. Homemade's best, but a nice box will do. Next, we're going to add 1 diced shallot to a pan over medium-high heat with about a tablespoon of butter. For our butternut squash, we're going to cut into 1/2-inch cubes and add onto a baking sheet. We season with salt, pepper, and olive oil and roast in a 450-degree oven for 15 to 20 minutes. As soon as your shallots become translucent, add a 1/2 cup of farro and cook until the farro is nice and toasted. Should look a little something like this. Once that farro is nice and toasty, add about 1/4 cup of white wine to deglaze. Once the farro's absorbed the wine, we're going to start adding in our stock about 1/4 to 1/2 cup at a time until the farro's about 3/4 of the way finished. Once that farro starts to soften, we're going to add in 1 cup of our diced apples and 1 cup of our roasted butternut squash. Then we're going to cover and simmer until the apples are tender and the farro's al dente. Should come out looking a little like this. Now we're going to start prepping our fish, which we're going to remove from the package, and we're going to go ahead and pat it dry on both sides. This will help get the skin nice and crispy in the end. Then we're going to go ahead and cut off the thin part so that we have a nice even fillet. This will help cook evenly. Then we're going to score the skin. This will help the fat to render, which will also help that skin to crisp up. And we're going to season with a little salt and some thyme. And we're going to go ahead and rub that into the fish so that it gets all into those cuts. And in the end, we should have 2 nice fillets that look just like this. Now we're going to add about a tablespoon of olive oil and a tablespoon of butter to a pan on high heat. And we're going to add our fish, skin side down. We're going to press down to help prevent that fish from curling up. We're going to do that with our other fillet as well. And once we've got those both pressed down and going, we're going to go ahead and add a few sprigs of thyme to the pan. This will help flavor that butter. And then we're going to baste the fish. When we baste, it starts gently cooking the top and helps the process go a little faster and helps us cook the fish a little bit more evenly. Once it's 3/4 of the way done, we're going to flip. And we're going to just cook for about another minute on the other side to just cook it the rest of the way through. Then we're going to go ahead and plate by putting some of our farro right in the middle of the plate. We're going to sprinkle with some lemon zest. We're going to place the fish right on top of that. And we're going to garnish with a few microgreens that we just happen to have laying around. Those are optional. And we're going to garnish also with some julienne apples and a twist of lemon.
So don't forget, the next time you're at your local grocery store or fish market, ask for sustainably farmed Arctic char. For more tips, information, and recipes on sustainable seafood, follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/FishSmartMNZoo or on Twitter at FishSmartMN or subscribe on YouTube at youtube.com/FishSmartMN. Until next time, cheers.